40 days of US and Israeli strikes on Iran. Oil prices exploding. The Strait of Hormuz blocked. The world standing at the edge of a regional war that could have gone nuclear. And then, one phone call from Islamabad changed everything. Pakistan just brokered the ceasefire that stopped it all. But here is the real question nobody is asking. What does Pakistan want in return? On April 7, 2026, US President Trump agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran, proposed by Pakistan. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi confirmed Tehran's acceptance and said Iran would allow safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz during those 2 weeks, Axios. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif announced the ceasefire, saying both parties displayed remarkable wisdom and invited delegations from both the US and Iran to Islamabad on Friday, April 10th, to negotiate a conclusive agreement, Al Jazeera. The world exhaled. But this ceasefire is fragile, and Pakistan is now sitting at the center of the most dangerous negotiation on earth. How did Pakistan pull this off? The Pakistani proposal came hours before Trump's deadline to launch massive strikes, involving a pause on Trump's threat and a commitment from Iran to open the strait, Axios. Pakistan has a unique position. It has relationships with both Washington and Tehran that no other country in the region has. It is a US ally. It shares Islamic solidarity with Iran. It has nuclear weapons that give it leverage nobody ignores. And Field Marshal Asim Munir personally convinced Trump to hold back. That is unprecedented diplomatic power for a country the world often overlooks. The ceasefire terms reveal exactly what Iran is demanding. Iran's 10-point proposal calls for Iranian dominance over the Strait of Hormuz, withdrawal of all US combat forces from Middle East bases, a halt to military operations against allied armed groups, full compensation for war damages, and the lifting of all sanctions. In simple terms, Iran wants America completely out of the Middle East. It wants its proxy network protected, and it wants to control the waterway through which 20% of the world's oil passes. These are not negotiating positions, these are maximalist demands, and America is sitting across the table from them in Islamabad. Trump said the US has already met and exceeded all military objectives and is very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran, Axios. Translation: America wants to declare victory and leave. Trump needs a win. The economy is suffering, oil prices spiked, markets panicked. Financial markets reacted with instant relief. S&P 500 futures rose more than 1%, while oil futures sank about 6%, Axios, the moment the ceasefire was announced. America needs this deal more than it admits. Now here is what nobody is talking about. Pakistan just demonstrated something extraordinary. A country facing economic collapse, political instability, and international isolation just mediated between the world's most powerful military and one of its most defiant nations. This changes Pakistan's position permanently. Islamabad is now a global diplomatic hub. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Turkey, they all tried to mediate this conflict and failed. Pakistan succeeded. This gives Pakistan leverage it has never had before, with Washington, with Tehran, and with the entire Muslim world watching. But here is the dangerous reality. Vice President J.D. Vance called this agreement a fragile truce, CNN. 2 weeks is nothing. Iran's demands and America's red lines are still miles apart. Israel is still conducting operations in Lebanon and has not agreed to any ceasefire. If these Islamabad talks fail, the war resumes, bigger, more destructive, and this time with no easy off-ramp. Pakistan's diplomatic success could quickly become Pakistan's diplomatic nightmare if the April 10th talks collapse. The next 14 days will determine whether Pakistan is remembered as the country that stopped a world war or the country that briefly delayed one. Pakistan just stepped onto the world stage in a way it never has before. One phone call, one proposal, one window of 2 weeks to prevent something catastrophic. Whether that window leads to lasting peace or simply delays the next explosion, nobody knows yet. But the world is watching Islamabad right now, and for the first time in a long time, that is not a bad thing for Pakistan. Subscribe because this story moves fast and we will cover every development as it happens.